what we teach is not just about teaching, it's also important to do and act on those things. I know we have shared on several things, on different things. We've shared on how to start a business, how to grow your own business, because I have learned in life that it is not just enough to know how to start a thing, it is also important to know how to sustain a thing and how to grow it. Most times what they teach us is how to make money. Most times. And that's why you find out that many people still struggle. Because in many conferences, they tell you 20 things you need to do to make money. And then the question is, a lot of people make the money, but they do not know how to sustain the money. That's why you hear the story of when I used to be rich. Somebody says when I used to have money. I've had people who had 1 million naira to themselves, and just within a short period of time, the 1 million naira disappeared. Because they do not have the capacity or the knowledge to retain the money. So it's not just enough to make it, it's also important to sustain it. And not just to sustain it, it's also important to grow it and multiply it. So that's why you need to learn. It's a skill. You must learn it. That you make 500,000 naira, and the next 1 year, 500,000 naira become, if not 1 million naira, at least 700,000 naira. It must be a skill that you must learn. But not everybody knows how to go and navigate through all these things. And these are the things that I believe I have the passion to teach and educate. Now, let me say this to you before you begin to think, oh, I know 1,000,001 things. Let me tell you the way it works for me. What I do is just let me learn one thing. I build on that one thing and do everything possible on that one thing to make sure I achieve something tangible with it. And that's the way it works for me. So let's go to business before I talk about other things, if time permits. We'll talk about 7 codes, but fortunately or unfortunately, we can't trash the whole 7 today. I looked at it and I found out that if we have to go through it, we will not leave this place today. So I'll just focus on majorly 3 of them. But I tell you, these are not things. These are things that probably you have not heard before. But you know the way faith works. The way faith works is that it comes by what? By hearing. I'm not just hearing once, by hearing and hearing. So when you hear, you need to learn to hear again. Once as is spoken, twice we have. Power belongs to God. So you need to learn to hear again and hear again and hear again. And the more you hear, the more light comes. The more you hear, the more light comes. There are certain times, I listen to messages, and there are messages I've listened to like 5 times. And you'll be shocked that when you listen to the same messages 6 times, there are certain things you will hear that you did not hear the 5 times you listen to them. So that's what I want us to do today with what we are going to hear. Everyone, maybe I should ask, how many of us wants to be successful in life? Or how many people don't want to be successful in life? I don't want to be successful. I just want to live my life anyhow. The good thing is God designed us to be successful. Life is designed for us to enjoy. I hope you know that. Life is designed for us to enjoy. God did not make any man to struggle. That's why he created Garden of Eden. And, God created everything that man will need before he brought man to existence. In other words, it's not that after I create you, I will now begin to think of what you need to live on. Everything man needed was made available before God created man. And so, for me, I have come to learn that life is designed for us to enjoy. I wish you above all things that you prosper and be in health. I usually focus on, pay attention to Genesis chapter 1, 26, 27, 28. And by the way, that's where our name came from. The name first word is from Genesis chapter 1. The first word that came from the mouth of God to man, which is be fruitful, multiply, replenish the heart. The intention of God for us is to be fruitful. The intention of God for us is to multiply. The intention of God for us is that when you go around with that consciousness and mentality, you know definitely you have certain rights to live certain kind of life. There is nobody that is exclusively created to enjoy. Many people have conditioned their mind to the fact that only certain people are designed to enjoy life. So I want us to first of all have that understanding that life is not designed for certain people to enjoy. Life is designed for all of us to enjoy. If you are not enjoying the good part of life, it is not the fault of God, it is the fault of us. Bible says the profit of the half is for all. This passage changed my mentality. It's for everybody. So I want us to have that understanding that I am designed to enjoy life. I am not designed to struggle. I am not designed to struggle. God made man to be fruitful. And that's one of the things I want us to understand as we progress. So, and when you know that God has designed us to become successful, how do we unlock this success? You know, one thing about God is this: He has given all things freely to all men. But you will need to understand how to access those things. So in life or in every area, there are what we call codes. That's what we call trade secrets in business. That's where you will see two people selling the same thing and somebody is selling more than the other. They share the same shops, they sell the same product, but one person is selling more than the other. So somebody is making more money than the other. It is because somebody has understood the secrets, called trade secrets, that the other person does not understand. God has given us some of those secrets that some of our people are feeling, oh, what do they do? What do they know self? It's a secret that God has revealed to us. Certain things that we do at interval to get people to patronize us. It's a secret. Not everybody knows it. So when you talk about success in life or anywhere, you need to understand that there are ways to unlock certain things and become successful in life. And let me say this to you: you can never be successful by chance. You cannot be successful by chance. And you know the kind of people that people who play pool. How many pool players have you seen that is a multi-millionaire today? I don't know anyone. Maybe you know. I'm talking about people who have sustainable wealth. So there are codes designed to unlock wealth. We may not be talking about wealth today. There are codes designed to unlock success. There are codes designed to unlock academic excellence. There are codes designed to unlock marital excellence. There are codes designed to unlock several things in life. That is very, very important. I was sharing somewhere online And they were asking, oh, okay, so how do you think you can, or you have been able to build what you do and attract customers and all those? I say, okay, it's a code. It's a code. But that's not where we're here today. So let me start with the number one code. If paid attention to, you will definitely achieve good success. And by the way, you know, Joshua 1:8 talks about good success. This book of the law will not depart from your mouth. You will meditate in it day and night, that you may observe to do according to all that is written in it, and you will make your way prosperous. And then you will have good success. If there is good success, that means there is bad success. If you have to kidnap to make money, people will look at you as a successful person, but that's a bad success. You understand what I'm saying now? Bible talk about a good man. A good man leaves inheritance for his children. That is a good success. When a man dies and he has money and his money cannot be inherited, that is a bad success. I understand what people have faced because there are different people creating different things at different levels. But if you pay attention to what we teach, you will achieve results and greater results. My own goal is that we'll be able to point to this person and that person and this person and says, I was down to nothing. Now I have achieved 1, 2, 3, 4 things. Let me tell you the dynamics of faith and words here. As powerful as faith is, it is not complete without words. Faith is not faith until words are involved. Jesus said, if you have faith like a mustard seed, what would you do? What would you do? Huh? You will say to this mountain, be thou removed. In other words, if you have problems in your life, the prerequisite, one of the prescriptions given to us according to the scripture, you will say to this mountain, be removed. Joel chapter 3 verse 10, let the weak say, I am strong. Pay attention to this. What you say in most cases are product of what you see and hear. In most cases, the things that we say are product of the things that we say or the things that we hear and the things that we see. Two things forms our words. I'm talking about spoken words now. Two things that form our words are the things that we see and the things that we hear. Acts chapter 4 verse 20. The disciples of Jesus were talking to the Sadducees and Pharisees. They were telling them when they arrested them, and they said, don't preach in the name of Jesus Christ again. And Peter stood up out of anger and said, you know what? It's impossible for us. It's impossible for us to keep quiet. Why? Because we have seen and we have heard. So he said to them, we cannot but talk about the things that we have seen and we have heard. Most times, what we say are product of the things that we see and we hear. Check it. At most times, when you speak based on the things that you see and the things that you hear. When you have seen certain things consistently over a period of time, you discover that words begin to proceed from your mouth because of the things that you see, that you have seen over time. And the things that you have heard consistently over a period of time. Our words are framed and formed because of these two things. This is very important. These two things condition our heart. And one of the things I've discovered is this: when your heart is right, your words will be right. When your heart is right, your words will be right. Out of the abundance of the heart, mouth speaks. Out of the abundance of the heart, mouth speaks. When your heart is right, your words will be right. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23 says, I want us to pay attention to this, because many people do not understand how this thing works. So, as you speak, how do I know what to say? How do I determine how to speak? How do I generate words? Words produce or proceeds from here. Out of the abundance of the heart, mouth speaks. In other words, what you store in your heart determines what proceeds from your mouth. There are certain times that you say certain things unconsciously. Right? When you get to that point, you discover that it comes from here. You just begin to discover that some things are coming out of your mouth. There are parents who speak in a certain word to their children, not because they want to speak in that certain way, because over time they've stored certain things in their heart. So what you store in your heart determines what proceeds from your mouth. So how do I protect my heart? And that's what we're talking about. Your words are formed by what you see and what you hear. What you see and what you hear. What you see, what you hear. How do I walk around what I see? Sometimes you may have to change your environment. And when I talk about changing your environment, I'm not talking about, packing out of where you live to a particular place. What you do sometimes is just leave where you are to a certain place, but you want to see something different from what you see on a regular basis, and see something different. So you have to pay attention to what comes to your heart. Proverbs 4:23, guard your heart with all diligence. Out of it proceeds the issue of life. If you go through Romans chapter 12, talk about do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renew of your heart. Proverbs 4:20, my son, give attention to my words, incline your ear to my sayings. Do not let them depart from your heart. From your eyes. Keep them in the midst of your heart, for they are life to those who find them, and health to all their flesh. Pay attention to all those things there. Your ear, pay attention. You incline your ear. Incline your ear. You remember I said what you hear, do not let them depart from your eyes. What you see, keep them in the midst of your heart. They are life to those who find them, and health to all their flesh. These three things are very important when we talk about faith and confession. What you see, what you hear, and what is in your heart. Your heart, your eyes, and your hair. 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 Please permit me to say it again. Your heart, your eyes, and your hair. These three areas are very important that you cannot and must not afford to allow just anything to enter into them. When you sit around someone who keeps saying to you, Nigeria is tough, and then they have made you to conclude and believe Nigeria is tough, I tell you, it will be difficult for you to achieve anything great in Nigeria. By the way, you need to know, as terrible as things are in Nigeria, there are people who are making it great. I'm talking about people who are making it great legitimately. There are two different things. I will make it is different from I have made it. I have made it is a statement of assurance. I know I have made it, not I will make it. When you say I will, sometimes it's because you are not certain. Speak of the reality of what is to come. In other words, you are certain that you have made it, even though the money may not be in your pocket yet. You need to grow to this point of not speaking because they say we should stop. You are talking based on the conviction that there is no alternative. The only alternative I have is that I am successful. I am a success is not the same thing as I will be successful. I want us to pay attention to this and learn how to speak according to what God has said concerning us. The plan of God for us is to be successful in life. We will come back to that point where we're going to declare. I want us to declare together and confess together certain things. And as you declare, trust me, you will see what you say. I tell you, you will see what you say. I'm talking to you based on experience. You will see what you say. As you declare, you will see what you say. Everything you say, rest assured, you will see. Because if it comes from your heart, the result is inevitable. Because of time, let me talk about the second code. After now, some of us, we need to go back home and begin to change our words. Change the way you talk. Sometimes people may think that you have lost your mind. But I tell you what, I've not seen any true successful person who has his mind together. Successful people are insane people. Successful people you cannot be sane and be successful. You cannot. You must do things that normal people will look and say you are out of your mind. Pay attention to that. This is very, very important. We have done certain things that I look at myself and said, this is not normal. This is very, very important. I want to challenge you to please go home and check, number one, the people you relate with, and also, which is going to be the next point I'm going to talk about. The number 2 code to attract success is what I call the code of association. Code of association or code of relationship. You cannot be better than the circle of relationship you have built over the years. You cannot be successful, or you cannot be better than the circle of relationship you have built over the years. Most of your key decisions in life determined by the kind of people you surround yourself with. The kind of people you build yourself around will determine the kind of decisions that you make. Your decision-making process will be determined or propelled or triggered by the kind of people that you surround yourself with. Show me your friend, and I will tell you the kind of person you are. When I check around and I discover that there's 5-10 people that you are close with, or you're close with, the kind of life they live, I don't need to go too far to know the kind of life you will live or what you will end up becoming in life. To be successful, it can be predictable. And one of the ways to be to predict success is when you surround yourself with successful people. It is simple. It is not that difficult. Yoruba people say, "Dewe bakbe lara ose, adose." You know, another proverb in Yoruba, "Aguton to baba jari ajegbe." When a sheep walk with the dog, It's a matter of time. It will eat and feed on what the dog is feeding on, contrary to its own original kind of meal. And the same thing works for us in life. These are simple. It is not difficult to be successful. We have made it to look like you have to do one extraordinary thing to be successful. But I'm telling you the simple things that to pay attention to is just discover. It's just a matter of time. When you build your life around great people, successful people, it's a matter of time. It will rub off on you. There are certain things that a great man will not be involved in because you are surrounded yourself with him. They will shift some of those things on you. That's the way it is. So pay attention to the association you keep. He that walks with the wise will be wise, and the company of fools will be destroyed. Iron sharpens iron. Proverbs chapter 27. Like a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. Your best 10 contacts will show what your future is like. Your best 10 contacts. Now, this is the question. Can you please do this for me? Take time. Think through the best 10 people in your life. Best 10 people in your life. Think through it. 10 best people in my life. Can you take time to just think through who are the 10 best people in my life as of today? Take time to think through 10 best people in my life. Can you also please help me write their names? It's an exercise because we have the time. I want us to just write. Or let me not do 10. Let's do 5. 5 best 10 people in my life. If you are a man and you are married, don't write your wife's name. It's automatic. Remove your wife. If you are a woman, you are married, forget your husband. They are automatically they are part of you. I'm talking about outside your family, who are the 5 closest people to you. 5 closest people to you. What they represent, right, will show you what your future is like. The mistake many of us make when you see a great man, the only thing you are thinking about is, how can I collect from him? How can I take from him? That's the only thing you are thinking about. Change that mindset. See a great man and think of, what can I offer him? How can I be a blessing to him? The day you meet a great man and say, sir, how may I help you? You will get his attention. Say, you help me? What do you have to give me? Say, I don't have money to give you, but there's something I can help you with. I can provide my service for you free of charge. If you dry clean, for example, I would like to dry clean your clothes. Let me give you an example. It was Reverend Sam Adeyemi that was sharing this. A young man walked into his house. He said, sir, I want to take care of your laundry for now. Say, I already have somebody who take care of it. It's not the money to pay that is the problem, but have someone say, sir, please avail me this opportunity. Take care of your laundry, free of charge. So the young man will go to his house, wash his clothes, dry clean his clothes, absolutely free of charge. Apart from the fact that he has now built a relationship with the man, you know what happened? God opened a miraculous door for him that he couldn't do the laundry again because he had to move to go and take up a job that is beyond his wildest imagination. Today is a great man. That is something you have that great man is looking for. Please pay attention. Don't ask for anything from a great man until they come to ask you, what do you want? Do you understand what I'm saying? You remember the story of Elijah and Elisha. It got to a point that man looked at him. This guy, the things you are doing is beyond normal. What exactly do you want? Elisha never approached Elijah first with demand. It was first with, I want to follow you. I will be taking over. I will be this. I say, sir, anywhere you're going, I'll follow you. It wasn't about I want. It was about I will follow you. I want to continue to serve you till death. That was it. Because it was the one pouring water on the hand of Elijah. Am I correct, sir? And then when Elijah said, I'll be taking on. Anywhere you go, I will follow you till death. He followed to a point. The man said, this kind of followership is beyond normal. Tell me what you want. And the man was so smart and said, I want everything you carry times 2. Everything you have. In other words, bring it to our natural, normal modern day terms. If Elijah was 50 billion naira richer at that time, what it means is, I want to be 100 billion naira richer. I hope you understand, because sometimes we think he was just talking about anointing. Everything, I want a double portion of what you carry. If Elijah had 50 houses in different places, what he was saying is, I want times 2 of everything you have. I want to have 100 houses. That's what it means. If God has blessed you with anything, I want the double. And the same thing still happens today. There are people that God has designed that it is through them that you will rise to the top. Pay attention to them. Discover them. Do everything you can to be a blessing to them. Don't ask. I always said it. Don't go first to a great man and ask. Somebody has money. The only thing you are thinking, I'm going to collect money from this. No matter what it is, be the first person to stretch forth your hand and say, I brought this for you, sir. Even though the man may not need what you have brought. But he will respect you for thinking of bringing something for him. What do you want? When you have, that's a blank check. Once you get that demand, then you know. And let me tell you this. When you even get that kind of demand, when you relate with certain people, don't be too quick to now begin to run your CV. I want this, I want this, I want this. Be very careful also. Don't go first with, I want to now have a problem and my children are not eating, my bed now begin to know. You have to also be very wise and be careful. If you want to sustain that relationship, I'm telling you, to grow faster in life, you need certain people in your life. Let me tell you what, the money you think you are looking for is in the hand of certain people. I hope you know. Is in the hand of certain people. These people have the money. It's not just that they have the money, they have so much money that sometimes they don't know what to do with the money. They can afford to give or lend you or loan you the money you are looking for. They only want to know that they have a relationship with someone. If you can take your time to build this good relationship with the person. When you do well, people recommend you at all levels, at any level. That's the way it is. You write faster, you make it easier, make it quicker by recommendation. And you will not get recommendation from someone that you have not built good relationship with. You will not. Sometimes you have to swallow and hide your own pain and give support to people. This is very, very important. This is very, very important. Let me round up by talking about the number 3 codes that we can round up and go. Number 3 codes. I call it PPP. The 3 P's. Number 1, persistence, perseverance, and practice. Persistence, perseverance, and practice. Philippians chapter 3, verse 13 to 14. I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are ahead. Forgetting those things. This one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are ahead. Persist, persevere, practice. Persist, persevere, practice. Persist. The reason why many of us have not achieved or attained any noticeable success in life is because we are too quick to quit. We quit so soon. The things that we do today, we have been doing over 10 years. Irrespective of the challenges that we face, we stay there. We kept at it until it began to yield. Persist, persevere, practice. You've heard a word that says practice makes perfect. That's what we call 5 by 5 rules. Meaning that you have to keep saying certain things consistently for 5 times before it makes meaning to certain people. I'm talking about marketing rules here. You have to keep marketing certain people first time. You know why some of us do business and our business is not doing well? It's because once you market a client once and the client does not patronize you, the next thing is you run away. So the rule says you do it 5 times. First time, the person does not come to you. Second time, the person does not come to you. The 3rd time and the 5th time, by the time you are doing it for the 5th time, you now begin to make sense to the person. You do it consistently until it begins to make sense to people. You know, it's been said, winners don't quit, quitters don't win. It is not enough to just start a thing. The major part of the job is to keep doing same thing until it begins to make sense. Whatever it is that you are doing right now, it is not enough to start. It's good to start, but it's not enough to start. It's important to build on what you are doing. Let me tell you, to tell you that everything will be smooth is to lie for you or to lie to you. You will meet with challenges. You will meet with difficulties, but you have to keep doing it until it begins to make sense. 2 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 10 to 12. Please pay attention to these. The Message version says, so here is what I think. The best thing you can do right now is to finish what you started last year. This is a message for someone. The best thing you can do right now is to finish what you started last year and not let those good things go to good intentions grow stale. Your heart has been in the right place all along. You've got what it takes to finish it up. So go to it. Once the commitment is clear, you do what you can, not what you can't. My counsel for you this afternoon, everything that you have in your heart, that you think you have started, please don't stop doing it. If it is God that has called you to do it, don't stop doing it. I'm begging you, don't stop doing it. Anything you lay your hand on, don't stop doing it. That's what we call 2190 rules. 2190 rule says commit to a personal or professional goal for 21 straight days. After the 21 days, the pursuit of that goal should have become an habit. In other words, when you do something consistently, repeatedly for 21 days, it will become your habit. That's a simple way to form an habit. Anything you do consistently, you know the challenge with some of us, we do it today, we miss it tomorrow, we do it next tomorrow, we miss it next tomorrow. Anything you do consistently for 21 days will become an habit. And it says, once you have established that habit, you continue to do it for another 90 days. Once you do it for another 90 days, it becomes your life. How many of us can say that we do one thing repeatedly for, no, that's 111. 111 days. How many months is that? 3 months is 90 days. That's almost 4 months. That you do it consistently, repeatedly for 4 months. Can any one of us convincingly say that? Is there anything you do or you've done repeatedly for 4 months? Non-stop, every day, you do it. Is there anything you do repeatedly for 90 days? I mean for 4 months? Not yet. Anything you do, sir? It's impossible. Do you do anything for that? Consistently for that? You know why people don't succeed in business? It's because they do one thing today, and then because it's not working, they move into something else. And they think that is not working, they move into something else. But you need to learn that anything that you see that has become great today has been built over a period of time. People talk about diversification in business. And then they say, oh, once you are doing something, then diversify to something else. I say it's not good to diversify anyhow. You diversify when you have successfully built a particular line of business and people know that you have made a name. You know, that's what we call brand name in that particular line. You are selling bottled water. Nobody even know the brand name of your bottled water yet. And then the next thing you are doing, you want to diversify into something because what you think is somebody is making it great in that area. You cannot achieve noticeable success through that. It is important to keep at what you do consistently over a period of time. So you cannot build a great brand with the attitude of touch and go, because that's what many people do. They just touch and go. So you do it and you do it again. You do it again and again. You do it again and again until it becomes your life. What we do today is something that we do effortlessly because it has become our life. Every successful people is known with at least one thing that they have committed time and their lives to over a period of time. Every successful people. So you do your business and then stretch a part of your hands into real estate. Just my own advice. You don't necessarily have to have the money to go and build properties or build houses. But at least, even if it's just one land in a place that nobody's living there, buy and live it there. Buy and live it there. There was a time in our lives that we gave ourselves targets for at least one plot of land to acquire every year. And I was doing that consistently for a period of time. You understand what I'm saying? So just my candid advice that so all these people that you mentioned, one thing is common to all of them. What is that? It's real estate. There is none of them that does not have their hands in real estate. None of them. So that is a lesson that I picked. No matter what you do, have a part of your hands or legs also in real estate. You don't have to be a player or a major player there, but have something. So I don't have the money to do real estate. There are companies now who sell land and you pay instrumentally. Right? So I have I can only afford 25,000 every month. There are companies that you pay them 25,000 every month, and then you own a piece of the half with them. And you'll be shocked by the time you finish paying that money, you discover that your money has appreciated in value. You get what I'm saying now? Also, be careful not to just go and buy land anywhere, anyhow. It's better to go through legitimate platform to own the properties. These are the things that we practice, and it gives you a kind of comfort at any time, even though there are no jobs are not coming, and then you know definitely that I have something. If anything happens, I can pull this out, sell it, raise money, and then I'll be fine. So that you won't keep putting everything you make into things that does not make sense. This is very, very important. So at a time, anytime when you have problems, let me tell you the way it works. When we do jobs that we get things done outside our normal expectations. Let's say, for example, we're budgeted, okay, this month was supposed to make 500,000 naira. And then something happened, we made 700,000 naira. At that point, the 200,000 on the money is not for you to go and be making merry around. It's for you to think of what to do to solidify your inflow. And that is very, very important. That is very, very important. So you look at these people, they have consistently built their businesses over a period of time. And that's why we are recognizing them today. How will people reckon with what you do? Is that you have to do it over and over and over and over again. Will you not be challenged? You will be challenged. Won't you face difficulties? You will face difficulties. That's the truth. A successful man is the one who can build a strong foundation with the bricks that others threw at him. I'm sure some of us know about Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill experienced 7 major failures during his lifetime before he wrote the book Think and Grow Rich. 7 major failures. Some of us only failed once. You abandoned the business, ran into another business. I tell you, you will face challenges. The founder of Federal Express, I'm sure we all know FedEx. Founder of Federal Express, Fred Smith, was told his idea was ridiculous and was given a failing mark by his college professor. 30 years later, Federal Express is the world's largest courier service company with 128,000 employees worldwide. An asset worth more than $7 billion US. Same man that was ridiculed by his college professor. But look at the number of years he continued to push. 30 years. Some of us 5 years want to run away. I tell you, keep at that business. Keep at that business. The same thing we were doing is the same thing we are still doing now, and the same thing I will continue to do. It's the same thing. It's the same thing I will continue to do. Keep at it. You know, the problem with most of us is we stop trying in trying times. What do you do? God gave me this notion. What do you do when you have a dream and it looks as if your dream is not coming to pass? What do you do? And your dream is not coming to pass. What do you do? What are you supposed to do? You don't know. What are you supposed to do? You have dreamt, you dream, and your dream is not coming to pass. What do you do? You'll be hopeful. My recommendation, you dream again. You keep dreaming and keep dreaming until there's something to show. You remember the story of Joseph, the dreamer. He dreamed and he woke up to his brothers and said, "Dad, father, brothers, I just had a dream." And then they'll say, "Look at it, this one. And then he will go again and dreamt again. And you know the story of Joseph, how they sold him, put him in prison, but at the end of the day, his dream came to pass. You don't stop dreaming. What you do is you continue to dream. You continue until something happens. Lastly, please pay attention to this. I read this about Michael Jordan, the popular basketballer. He said, "I have missed more than 9,000 shots." How many thousand? 9,000 shots. You remember we're talking about 4 months consistently doing one thing. Not that I do today, I do another one tomorrow. One thing consistently for at least minimum of 3 months. He said, "I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost almost 300 games. He said, on 26 occasions, I have been entrusted to take the game-winning shots, and I missed on 26 occasions." He said, I have failed over and over and over again in my life. And then he said, "That is why I succeed." Missing 9,000 shots is the reason why I am now a success. When they expected that I will be the one that will throw the ball and will give us a win, and then I missed the shot, and I failed over and over again, that is why I am now a success. When it looks as if things are not working, it's an indication that you are qualified to be successful. Only if and when you will not stop doing it. This business is not giving me money. If you feel that it is what God has called you to do and you stay put, it's just a matter of time. You will have a lot of money. I'm praying for you now. You will have a lot of money. I said you will have a lot of money. You will have a lot of money. I'm just speaking. You will have a lot of money. You will have a lot of money. You will have a lot of money. That's my own confession about you. You will have a lot of money. You will have a lot of money. As long as your heart is right, you will have a lot of money. Can we just rise as we take this confession and then you declare with your own mouth? It's one thing for your pastor to declare over you. It's another thing for you to declare over yourself. That's why when a child is born, they hand over the child to the father and say, "Bless your child yourself. You are the one who has given birth to this child. Bless him or her." What you say, you will see.